What's going on, Fear fans? We are here to review the Season 5, Episode 11, Fear the Walking Dead episode. You're still here. I hope you're still here, because Alicia is focused on finding the person that's still painting those trees. Herself and Strand find themselves in a battle between survivors while on their scouting mission, and Alan Morgan hit a roadblock. We also got our favorite segments coming up. We've got some cool news, so don't move a muscle.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's going on, Fear the Walking Dead fans? We are here with some awesome music going on.
We are. Thanks to our DJ.
Thanks to our wonderful DJ / engineer Ryan in the booth. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We are here to, like I said, review Season 5, Episode 11 of the next episode of Fear the Walking Dead. I've got a beautiful panelist tonight with me, Krista Flange.
Hi, guys. What's happening?
Unfortunately, our other two panelists tonight probably are outside getting eaten by zombies.
Yes. Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Oh, I know. So sad. But we are here. And we are going to dive into this episode. First off, like I said, you guys, we do have our favorite segments at the end of the episode. We've got our favorite kill segment. Plus, we've got our How Not to Survive a Zombie Apocalypse segment, which we go through the moment in the show where we pick something that we thought wasn't the most clever idea. We've also got some really cool news and our predictions. Mm-hmm. So, Krista, let's dive in, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
What was your overall thoughts of the episode?
I liked it.
Okay.
Again, I think these last, couple have been a little bit of a slow burn, but I think there's been a lot of interesting stuff that's happening, and we're learning things, but it makes me think that we're leading up to a crazy season finale.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Also,
so
guys,
I'm excited.
Krista's on the live chat.
I am.
So if you have thoughts, shout them out for us. We might give you guys a shout out later on in the episode. Also, we want to hear what your overall thoughts on the episode were as well.
Please.
I liked the episode. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of things that got on my nerves.
Yeah.
Which we've all expressed, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows what they are before we dive into it, but we'll wait. And I will definitely get specific when it comes to those moments.
Please do.
But I did like the overall episode, and I completely agree with you. I feel like there is a slow burn going into something that's going to be huge.
It makes me excited, though, because I feel like when we do this in the Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead universe, it's just, and we've got the bad guys doing things, and they're, making progress in their attempts to, so it's just what's gonna happen?
Right, and we're probably gonna either love it or hate it, or we're gonna hate that we love it.
I know it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be really good. So let's talk about this opening moment, shall we? Alicia is still examining these trees, these painted trees, and she gets attacked by walkers. And right off the bat, I am annoyed.
Yep.
Because she clearly doesn't fight back. She has a very, very close call with a walker, and Strand has to come in to save the day. And all I remember is going, "What the hell? What the hell?"
Yeah, Strand saved her behind a lot in this episode.
She almost got bit 15 times in this episode.
Yeah.
All because she's going through some mental breakdown of
She doesn't
PTSD.
want to cause more destruction. Yeah.
I don't know.
She's having post-traumatic stress disorder.
She really is.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on this moment?
I know she's going through some stuff, and obviously at the end we see that she gets through it. We're not there yet, but it's frustrating to watch because you've also seen Alicia be such a badass and take names. So when you see her literally doing nothing, you're like, oh, I know you can do everything else. So it's just can you just do it? Because you're going to die. Strand's blind.
Well, that was later on in the episode, but I hear what you're saying.
Just the whole episode, I just felt like everything she did was I just wanted her to fight to survive.
Yeah, and you guys, we have said this before, especially because Alicia is going through her PTSD moment right now in the show, but it's just unrealistic to me for Alicia, having gone through everything that she's gone through in the last 5 seasons, and sits there and thinks, oh yeah, I'm just going to go out and not kill zombies and think that that's okay. No, you need to stay, if they had a home or a camp or
they kept her in a building somewhere with the kids.
Yeah, babysit. Don't.
And she brings it up at one point. She's like, I probably shouldn't be out here. Probably not. Not until we figured it out and you were better, but maybe now she is. So maybe it's what she needed, but it was such a risk, the whole episode.
I agree with you guys.
Too many close calls.
Exactly. Let us know what you think about Alicia's PTSD and how she refuses to kill anybody or anything at this
in
point.
The chat said Alicia had lost her mojo at that point. She did lose her mojo.
She did lose her mojo. She needs to get it back like Austin Powers did, because otherwise she's probably going to die.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. So let's talk about Wes, because Wes walkies them. So Wes is the African-American guy that we saw 2 episodes ago, and we all liked Wes.
Yeah.
From the get, so I'm glad that they brought him back. That's not a surprise. Were you surprised?
No, I want more Wes.
I agreed.
I love him.
I do. Yeah. I agree with you. And, you know, he encounters Alicia and Strand, and he pretty much tells them what happened with Logan. And immediately they feel guilty.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of putting people in danger, but not directly, like indirectly putting people in danger. So, I mean, it's kind of a tough position to be in.
It really is.
I don't really...
It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly.
Type of thing. So it's just, yeah.
Yeah, but they look at Wes as another opportunity to help somebody, and he says that he needs to get back to his brother, so they give him a ride. So on the road, Alicia asks, or Wes asks, if they found the person that is painting the trees, and he, just like probably the rest of us, are kind of questioning why Alicia has this fascination or obsession with who is painting these trees. And she has a very interesting answer. You know, she says she needs to, it's like a necessity at this point, she needs to meet whoever is painting these trees because she wants to see the world in a way that they see it. Did you like that answer?
I did, because of what we find out at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As it was happening, I was kind of like, I agreed with Wes, where he was like, don't you guys have bigger fish to fry?
Yeah.
But then, you know, it kind of comes full circle, and I was like, oh, that's a really cool thing that they did with that.
Yeah, no, yeah. I liked that moment because it did tie in the end. But in the moment of that part, I was just a little frustrated, especially coming off of the heels of what had just happened and how Strand had to save her. But I was just like really frustrated with Alicia at this point. And her and these trees, I feel like if a walker was eating a tree, she'd probably kill the walker because that's how much she cares about these trees. And I'm just like, I don't care. Yeah. I don't care who's painting these trees. I understand that you do. And like I said, guys, she's one of my favorite characters of the entire Walking Dead universe. But this whole losing her mojo, like our person in the chat said, and just not being able to defend herself, essentially, is just giving me it's just turning me off to her character. So they get to where Wes is staying, or so he says.
Yeah, the police station.
Which I thought was pretty smart. If you're gonna,
I was like, why haven't we visited more of these? It's brilliant. Yeah.
Well, we didn't. We don't visit more of these because of what happens. Well, but yeah, we'll talk about
the ammo and the guns. We should be visiting more of them.
Yeah, I feel bad for the animal that was getting eaten on the side of the road while they were going to. Yes. Is that a donkey or a horse?
Kinda, yeah. There was
kinda.
It was whatever, the remnants of maybe a mutated. But there was a couple grotesque moments this episode that I kind of liked.
There really were.
It was like we saw some new zombies. It was fun. Tear gas zombie? Great.
Tear gas zombie was pretty cool. Yeah. No jaw zombie, which I think we saw before, but that was pretty cool anyway.
Still sick.
It's pretty sick. So as soon as they get to the police station where Wes says he's staying, there's a shootout, and Strand and Alicia are on, obviously, their toes. Like, what's happening? At first, I thought that somebody was in there, and once the guy ran out, I thought that he had shot this guy's brother.
That's what I thought.
Right? And like, he's chasing him because you just saw somebody kill your brother or something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was going to be, I don't want to take away credit for what they were trying to do, but I just felt like for the reasoning of why they were chasing him. It was going to be more intense. Exactly. Yeah. But we do see that he does get shot by Wes. And that's when Strand and he takes Strand and Alicia's truck.
Yeah, with the bike still on it.
with the bike still on it. The bike that we hoisted onto the truck. Yeah. And now the bike is gone, the truck is gone.
Everything's gone.
Everything's pretty much gone. Yeah. Because in my eyes, didn't Alicia and Strand stop Wes from shooting this guy?
Yeah, kind of.
So don't you think they could have probably avoided a whole lot of issues if, hey, you just shot him from the beginning?
Yeah, it's just like, that's one of the storylines that just didn't really make sense.
Yeah, and now because of all of this sound and all this commotion, now we've got walkers who are essentially just surrounding them, and now they can't get out of the police station.
And Strand is blind.
And Strand is blind because of this tear gas, because they thought they had guns filled with ammo, but yet no, it was riot gear, so it was literally
which
just
makes
blanks.
sense
And
because at the beginning, that's what they were doing. So it's just like, but I wouldn't have thought about that in the moment to look or what I'd even be looking for.
That's actually a really good point, Krista, because I didn't put those two and two together, but you're right. Police probably had to deal with crowds
and we've
stuff
seen
like
the video, like with Al and stuff at first, like when it first broke, that it was like crowds were going nuts because they didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
So it's just like you forget that everything just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
And they just like left their tear gas and, crazy.
So they use this tear gas on zombies, but it gets turned on them instead. Specifically, Strand.
Never want to be blind in a zombie apocalypse.
No, not at all. Why would
Natural selection would happen real fast. Like that would be the worst thing, I think.
Yeah.
Also, being deaf would probably be tough, but at least.
Well, we see that in The Walking Dead, and she seems to be getting by.
But this was the first, and he's like not even fully blind.
Yeah, and it was pretty bad because he said he couldn't even see 10 feet in front of him. Yeah. Before we move on to the next topic, I'm going to shoot it over to Krista very quickly.
Yes. So, hey guys, before we move on, as Tim just said, we just wanted to say thank you so much for making us the ESPN of TV talk. For us to continue to learn and grow, we need your help. So, if you're watching, which I hope you are, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. If you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, make sure you give us 5 stars, a thumbs up on YouTube, comment, do all of the things. We have tons of other after shows too for you guys, so make sure you're checking out everything we're doing because we love being a part of AfterBuzz TV and it means so much to both of us and all of the hosts here. So we just want to say thank you for watching and continuing to watch along with us.
Yeah, guys, like Krista said, we do this show for you. So, without you, we don't have a show. So, like she said, give us a thumbs up, give us 5 stars, comment, tweet.
Comment. We read all the comments.
Yeah, any shout outs in the chat?
Yeah, still Rob K.
Okay.
He's was this the guy? He just asked, was this guy that was in the police station part of Logan's group? No, but he kind of got stuck in the middle because Logan's group assumed he was with them, and that's why the bike thing happened.
Well, does he mean Wes or does he mean the other guy?
Oh, if you mean Wes, that's who I'm talking about. I don't think the other guy was
either. I don't think either guy.
Yeah, I don't. Wes for sure was, and he just kind of got stuck in the middle. Yeah. And Logan's group assumed he was affiliated with Morgan's group.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the other guy. I'm assuming he was just doing his own thing.
I think so. And it's really rare to see, and I'm glad that he brought that out. It's very rare to see lone survivors nowadays. And I guess Wes is one of them as well. True. So they are out there. It's just they always see people in the group.
Into themselves as they
should, because otherwise they'd probably get killed by somebody else. Yeah, or a bigger group. Yeah. I want to talk about Al and Morgan in the beginning of this episode because we see them at a bank. And at first I was like, okay. I was a little confused because obviously we know that currency and money has no value anymore. Exactly. Yeah. And we see Al is trying to get into the safety deposit box vault to put her tapes in because she feels like that's the safest place for them. And her and Morgan have this very interesting dialogue. She says, he says, if anything happens to us, I don't think there will be anybody to watch those tapes. And, Al shoots back with, no, there will be. Obviously, going back to, the first half of the season where her and Isabel had this thing. And I'm glad, A, that they brought that back up.
Yeah.
And B, I liked this moment because, once again, it's just this overall theme of hope throughout the episode where, okay, somebody will find these tapes, but at the same time, how realistic is it? Who's going to be looking in an abandoned bank?
I know, and then it's also
not for years.
And then it also bothered me too because it's like Logan's doing everything he can to find this stuff, so it's just, is there really a safe place to hide it? Honestly, anything. I know this wasn't the manuscripts, but it's tapes, and he's looking everywhere for everything, so it's just like, I don't know, it's so tough.
Looking at it in the moment, it is a pretty smart idea.
Yeah.
It's a bank, it's a vault. You know the vault because you interviewed the bank manager a while ago, which I thought was pretty cool. And where else would you put something that's very, very valuable?
Is there anywhere else to put? Yeah,
I guess just on your person because at this point you can't trust anybody or
that's what I was kind of thinking. But then I'm like, I guess she's looking at it as if anything happens to me.
Yeah.
But then how's anyone gonna know that's there? But I guess at the end of the day, eventually years from now, when civilization comes back to life, you check those places.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like there's really no right answer.
Yeah, I guess not. And back at the police station, Alicia and Strand have this other moment where, Alicia says she doesn't want to kill the dead, but she also does want to help, and she doesn't know how that's possible. And pretty much Strand, and I love him for this, pretty much goes, I don't know that it is. Just
Can you
be
kill
blunt.
zombies now?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty blunt. And I mean, that's who Strand is. But he says that he's willing to help her until they can figure it out.
Which I liked. He was you could tell this whole episode, just goes to show how much Strand has come, how far he's come since we first met him. Because he was so understanding with it. Like, he was literally, he couldn't see, and he'd have to come out and kill walkers for her because she wasn't doing it for herself.
Yeah.
So it's just like he's, and he's like, that's okay, you'll do it on your own time. Are you sure you want to do this kind of thing? And I was like, wow, Strand is a whole different person, because I would have got fed up real quick.
But at the same time, we also have to remember Strand and Madison's relationship was very, very close. And I feel in some way he looks at Alicia as an extension of Madison.
I think so too. And we got I kind of got that feeling tonight. You see it more.
Yeah.
He wants to protect her and look out for her, and he was really doing it today.
He really was. He had his work cut out for him, clearly. I just love that relationship that is evolving between the two of them. And I feel like because of the loss of Madison, that is what really has turned Strand into the person that he has essentially become.
Yeah.
And I like the path that he's on.
I do too.
Because it's like an even balance. It's not like this person who just cares about himself all the time. It's, I'm going to put myself in danger to care about somebody else, but only somebody who's in my group.
Yeah.
Because he's quick to be like, I don't know you, so...
Stay away.
Yeah, keep you at an arm's length. I want to talk about Al and Morgan again, because... they run into Logan's group again after Alicia and Strand reach out to them through walkie and say, hey, can you go and find the guy in the truck? Because not only do they have to find the guy who's painting the trees, now we have to find somebody who this random dude, Wes, shot, and now we have to go and help him before he bleeds to death.
Even Wes was like, really?
Right. I was like, are we...
He's really lost cause, but sure, yeah.
Well, also, I mean, but that's another thing, and we brought this up before in, I think, the last episode, where... I wish they would put more emphasis on, hey, we need to get our truck back and our guns back and our equipment back, rather than, hey, we have to find a random guy that we don't even know, that some other
might
random
try to
guy
shoot us.
who we don't even know shot. It was just, yes.
Priorities.
Just priorities, exactly. So Al and Morgan are trying to find him, and that's when they run into Logan and his people, because they have hit a roadblock with their big, I guess, 18-wheeler.
Yeah, they kind of gave it, they had to say what direction the truck was heading in, so obviously Logan knew where to be.
Yeah.
Nice little blockade just waiting for him.
And what was really funny is that Logan is actually using the guy, the random dude that we just talked about who got shot, as leverage for them to give him the location of the oil fields. I just thought that was so... And do they expect us to be like, oh my gosh, are they going to tell him nail biter? I don't think so.
No, they don't know him.
Why would they? Why would you tell somebody a location of something that's a valuable resource right now, something that you absolutely need to help other people? And B, and they said it in this moment, if you give them the gas, they're going to be putting other people in danger. Yeah. Clearly this isn't a good group.
See, obviously not for a stranger, but if that was like Alicia or someone, we'd have a different outcome. But yeah, in this circumstance, no.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, what would you do?
No. Absolutely not. I don't know that man. From what I have heard, he's already shot, so he might already be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
You can have him.
you can have him.
Yeah.
And at this point, we can just get another car. Because we have all the gas. So.
We'll just go around.
Yeah, essentially. What was interesting about this, though, is that they obviously have no time to negotiate with Logan, and they're about to walk away. And then Logan says something to Morgan about his wife and son. Ooh. And obviously it elicits a very, very strong response from Morgan.
Angry Morgan.
Were you surprised?
No. It's also, we all know that they're listening to these tapes. Yeah. So I wasn't surprised that they're gonna start using that stuff against them, or not against them, but they're gonna bring it up because, like you said, don't broadcast it if you don't want people to know.
That's another thing.
Fair.
Yes.
And Morgan comes to that realization in the car, but in the moment he's already heated because they had this altercation, and then he brings up his family. And Morgan's he just had that whole struggle in the mall about it. So, of course, he's going to react like that. He's going through some things.
Well, that's the reason why I was a little surprised by the reaction, because I thought that he had put it a little bit of it to rest after we saw the whole mall episode and his relationship with Grace evolve a little bit more. I thought that he had gotten over it a little bit more.
So I think that's the only reason why he reacted, is maybe just because it was fresher. It's like, I just talked about this.
Just not again. It's like when you're on Facebook or you talk something about your friends, and then all of a sudden you see the thing that you were just talking about on there. I guess, that makes sense.
But yes, it also would make sense that he'd be able to, after talking through it, but it's just like also it was like left unsaid.
Yeah.
It's so hard. I think that's always just going to be a touchy subject for
Of course.
Morgan.
Well, luckily Morgan didn't act on his impulses with the help of Al, who kind of pulls him off, and then they leave. Now, back at the police station, Alicia and Wes have this moment where they bond over their brothers. And I like this episode because anytime they give us any backstory or any feelings on how the character has felt about something that has happened, and they did it twice with Alicia. They did it with her mom, and they did it with her brother.
Yeah.
And at first, I was like, this guy doesn't even have a brother because that's what he said. He lied. And Alicia automatically knows that he lied. And that's what I like about Alicia. She's very smart. And we've known that since season 1. Yeah. She's one of the smartest Clark family members.
Yeah, she's good at reading people, too.
She is very good at reading people. And they have this moment between them, the two of them, where essentially they're just talking about the brothers that they lost. Did that bring back feelings about Nick for you?
Yeah, a bit. And I also like that they had that, because also this episode, you know, like they all are, it's about like loss and not losing hope.
Yes.
So it was just nice for them to both be like, yeah, you know, everyone's lost someone in this world, and it's nice where you can be like, hey, it sucks for me too.
Yeah. I mean, misery loves company, right? And you might as well bond over it.
Exactly. And also he must have, we don't know his backstory, but he's been alone for, it looks like a bit. So
Yeah. I mean, his brother died in the beginning, he said.
And yeah, who knows what he's been up to
since the start of it. So So
it's just like, is this the first time he's like really chit-chatting with a chick? You know, for like an extended period of time.
Yeah, and what
it's
else
like a
has
big
he
moment
been through?
I know.
I'm excited to get more. I'm excited to know more about him. He also says, you know, the motorcycle was his brother's, which makes a lot more sense why he's trying to, you know, push it back home and why he's so attached to this bike. Because at first I was like, yeah, it's convenient because a motorcycle doesn't take that much gas and you can get far on it and it's fast. But B, I'm like, it's just a vehicle. Like, do you need it?
We get a new one.
We could just get a new one. But I'm glad that they threw that in. And there's another moment between him and Alicia where Alicia says, you know, it's not right that you pretty much shot this guy. And Wes fires back with, you know, that's just how things are now. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Why
it's just because I liked it. They kind of brought Wes in because it's so parallel to Alicia and them right now. They're all like, you know, people are still good. Let's like bring hope alive. And he was all like, people are people, which it's like in the real world, people are people too. And like, we're all going to die. It's just sometimes it's a little faster if you're in a zombie apocalypse.
Ruthless, Krista.
It's just like, so that was his point. And you can just see it's taken him to like a whole, he's just like, I think he's just been alone for a really long time. And he's also like, I'm just sitting here watching people react the way they are. And even like he says later on, like, you made me care. Yeah. It's probably the first time he's like been with a group, even if it's just two, and like watching them care. It's probably like, which we'll get to. Then I have questions about that later too.
No, but which is really interesting because for somebody to be alone for that long, and, you know, she asks him in this police station, like, how many people have you killed? She can automatically tell, like, he hasn't killed anybody. And that's pretty much the truth.
So he has to, I'm guessing he's been alone for a bit.
Yeah, so where have you been?
Rob K also said that was his favorite part of the whole episode when she asked him how many people you killed.
Because it obviously brings us back to The Walking Dead. And that was a question that Rick asks, or Rick's group asks.
I think that's a great question, too, because that, like, really, you know.
It does. It separates the people, but then it's like
also it's how you've been surviving.
Yes,
I think it's when you're alone that might be something you can get away with for a lot longer because you're like left unnoticed.
Right, but I also feel like it's a hypocritical question because, like, imagine somebody goes up to Rick's group and asks Rick, or in this case Alicia, if somebody goes up to Alicia and Strand's group and asks how many people have you killed, and they're like, I'm gonna need a lot more hands.
I haven't tallied it up in a while.
It's like, do they show the same respect to somebody who they're asking? Like, do they understand that, hey, this is just something that they have to do to survive? Or is it an ultimate or an immediate judgment where they're like, oh no, we can't have this person in our group because they killed too many people?
Like with Rick's group and like going into that universe, I think it's the latter. Yeah. But for this, it was her being like, you know, this guy might still be alive. That's why if we save him, this is for you too, because you clearly, this would be your first. And do you want it to be kind of deal? But at that moment in time, he was just like, yeah. And essentially Alicia wants Wes to help the guy that he shot, which I just thought it's just such an unfair request, but okay. Al and Morgan walkie them and they tell them that they're really far out, so they're gonna have to get out of the police station pretty much by themselves. And what bothered me again about this, it was just an inconsistency because Alicia says, oh, I'm looking for another way out, but there isn't one. And then we see Wes comes out the back. I had the same thought.
I was just like, okay, so there was a way out this entire time.
I think
we
it was
don't
just
have to
the
be
cop
wasting
car that they were worried about getting because that was surrounded. But yeah, we could have went through the back.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't about to go storming through those doors that were, yeah.
Well, essentially because there wasn't a way out at that moment.
Yeah.
Alicia is apparently now ready to kill these walkers, and her.
I love how Strand was like, "No, you're not."
He was really nervous. He was like, "Oh, I don't think
I'm glad I'm gonna die in here."
yeah, blind, so he doesn't have to see it coming. But then Wes obviously has a change of heart, and he says, he's gonna help clear them, and he has an idea, and that's when he goes out of the side entrance. And essentially, it bothered me because you're wasting ammo. We don't have a large supply of ammo like Logan's group it does.
Yeah.
So if there's no blockage of this side exit, why aren't
maybe just get on foot and start walking?
But really though, it just bothered me because I was like, it's just a waste of resources.
I'll first squad car to go get this guy.
Yeah.
Who's eventually probably going to turn.
Yeah, and that brings me to my next point where Alicia and Strand are inside looking for these keys, and once again, because these windows are so fragile, that's when a walker comes through, and Alicia's sitting there like, oh yeah, I'll protect you. And Strand once again is like, no, you won't. So his blind self has to kill this walker for her. It was just very, Alicia was just frustrating me this episode. And I don't know if that's what the writers are wanting. I don't know if that's the response that they're wanting right now.
Yeah.
But it was just, how do you feel?
I think it's it's, everyone goes through those moments and we're watching her.
Not everyone though. That's
true.
An unfair statement.
That is true. I guess it's just, she's really going through it. She's like grappling with the fact that she might die. But again, in this world, you all are.
Well, here's the thing that kind of put me back on the Alicia train is when she had to kill that walker, when she was like, I have to kill this walker, and there were those flashbacks of obviously her killing all of these walkers. Reminding you why
she's feeling the way she is.
Exactly. And then once again it brought back, the radiation walker, where she killed the radiation walker, and now she essentially may have...
Yeah, because the last time she killed a walker, now she might die for it.
Yes.
So it's something, I get the struggle for sure.
Right.
But also not something you want to die for, you know? It's just, but she's got to overcome it in her own terms, and we're seeing that happen.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they just brought us back to that, because I'm sure there were a lot of viewers like me that were like, I'm so frustrated with her. Why are you doing this? And then they brought us back to...
You're reminded.
You literally almost died because you killed a walker. And
it's going to take time.
It's going to take time. Let's talk about Alan Morgan again very quickly. Okay. So Alan Morgan are taking an alternate route to find the guy that's shot. And this is when Alan Morgan have that moment of when Al apologizes about having Morgan talk about his family on tape, which is what Logan just used against him. And, he says that he needed to get people to trust them. And essentially Al says, we're not ghosts. Who we lost doesn't define us. It's what we do. Did you agree with that statement?
I liked that.
I did too.
I do. I love Al though. So it's just, I feel like she's always got, these wise words of wisdom. Especially, I love her and Morgan's dynamic too. Yeah. They just balance each other out really well, and I just love her.
I'm also glad that when Morgan told Grace that he was actually going to see Al, that's actually what he did. And he wasn't lying about it. It wasn't like a cop-out.
He was just going to go on a walk.
Yeah. Or he's like, oh yeah, Al is fine. I just needed to get out of that situation. No, he actually went to go help Al, which is needed.
And immediately Al was like, are you going to tell me what's going on?
Yeah. Yes.
Which I love.
Because once again, she's another character in this show that reads people very, very well. And that's another
journalist
reason.
In her.
Exactly. That's another reason why we love her. So Alicia, Strand, and Wes, they find the guy, finally, that was shot by Wes. And I don't know if he was acting like a walker.
I think he was shot, and the poor guy also was just limping a bit. I didn't think he was dead right away.
You didn't?
No, especially when he started walking up towards him. I'm like, I bet this guy's just trying to go die in the woods somewhere. He's been through it today. But yeah, and then as soon as he called he was like, hey, I was like, oh, great. Here we go.
I mean, but in all fairness, for a guy that just got shot, he definitely had a lot of strength to him.
Yeah. Well, when he started strangling him, I was like, oh, there he is.
And then we find out what all of this is for, and it was just for a manuscript.
Yeah.
What?
Also, yeah, and his last words are, it was good.
Yeah.
It's good.
He was like, it's good. It's really good.
It's good. I was like, why would you do that?
What is happening? And on top of that, if you really enjoyed this guy's work, even after the whole shootout, even after you got shot, why not turn around and be like...
Because he didn't know it was his.
Shoot me, don't...
Yeah. Which I didn't get
that it was
either.
Because he stole it from him.
Yeah, because he's like, you wrote... Well, he knew it was his book. Like, he owned it. It was in his belongings, but he didn't know he wrote it.
Oh, okay.
But again, it'd just be like, I just want to read the book. I don't know, but it's also such a thing you don't have to think about, and it's just a totally different world, so you're literally stealing... Yeah.
Here's what it brought back for me, and I'm like, maybe... in a zombie apocalypse, there are not that many things to hold on to.
Yeah.
So clearly this guy found this manuscript, he read it, and he was obviously very connected to it because he died for it. Mm-hmm. I guess just at this moment, it must be. I really want to know what it is now. But apparently, I just maybe in the zombie apocalypse, you just find one thing and you just cling to it.
You're willing to kill for or die for it?
Or die for it, yeah. And it could be a stupid reason as we look at it as just a manuscript, but clearly this is what this guy needed to live. And he was willing to kill for it or die for it.
Yeah.
Which I guess we shouldn't take away stakes from these people because we don't.
We have no idea.
We have no idea. So we obviously see the group reunited in the end. Al, Morgan, Alicia, and Strand, and Wes is there. And they're burying this guy. And Alicia reads the manuscript. And obviously she's like, oh, that's actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. And then we find out that Wes wrote it for his brother. And that's why he wanted it back so bad. So I can understand why he was going
and it's
so
like
hard for it.
You know, that probably took you some time.
Of course.
To find a typewriter in the zombie apocalypse. Like, good for you. I would want that back too. Yeah.
Then we find out an even more interesting fact is that Wes was the guy who's been painting the trees all along.
Of course.
Did you know?
I didn't until they were in the car. I didn't know for sure. But the one time where I was kind of like, could it be?
Yeah.
Is when they were in the car and he was all, don't you have bigger fish to fry than like figuring out? He just kind of reacted like, really? That's what you're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew in the beginning of the episode.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. I was writing it down, and I'm not lying, you guys. I showed Chris.
He showed me the notes.
Yes,
it's there.
She could vouch for it. I was definitely like, as soon as she's like, who's painting these trees? I was like, it's probably the African-American guy who we didn't even know was his name at the time. I just had a feeling. I don't know why, but I had a feeling, and I just wanted to brag about it because I was right about something.
It was impressive.
So I'm glad that it was him, because of everything that they had just been through, especially what Alicia said in the beginning, and we talked about this earlier. She wanted to meet the person because she wanted to see them and how he sees the world. And pretty much Wes was like, people are people, we have to kill to survive. Like, that's the kind of... So it's like, wow, Alicia, I feel like she was expecting to meet this, like, very zen person who is going
holier than thou.
Yeah, who is going to, validate her feelings on what she was doing, and yet she got the complete opposite,
which apparently is what broke her. That's how she got her mortality back,
right? And
which I guess makes sense because it's just like, you know what, I was looking for this person to change me, and like I'm the only one that can do that.
So then Alicia starts painting the trees, and what she paints is very, very nice. She paints a phoenix rising from the ashes, and she quotes Madison on one of the trees and says, no one's gone until it's gone. One of the most touching episodes, like, moments.
And I love that Madison said that all the time, and I love that it was just a tribute to her, especially with fans being like, is it Madison leaving the notes?
I know, and it was kind of a bummer that it wasn't Madison leaving the notes, but at the same time, you guys have to admit that was a stretch.
Yeah.
Like, we all knew that it was a stretch.
We all were like, ooh, that'd be fun, but it wasn't.
Yes. Also, Wes sees one of the trees that he's painted, and I think he starts crying, and I think that it reminds him of why he started doing that in the first place.
That was a good moment, too.
I'm hoping that he goes back to the group.
I do too. I don't think that's less we're going to see of Wes.
I don't think so either.
Paths will
I don't think so either.
cross again.
Morgan and Al go back, revisit their conversation as well at the end of the episode. And Morgan pretty much agrees and disagrees with Al. He goes, what he has lost is connected to everything, even the good and the bad. And that's why he doesn't want to let his wife and son go, because he's worried that he's going to, lose some of the good that he remembers about them. And Al says, you know what, why don't you just talk to me about them and I can film it, and you'll have the good for as long as you want it. And once again, I just love their relationship. I just love that Al can use what she does to help somebody in such an insignificant way, but it means so much.
Agreed.
Yeah. And then Logan's people break into the bank. I don't know how they found this bank.
They've got to be like watching from, I don't know, there's got to be a tail on them that we don't see.
Maybe, but apparently they're going to use those tapes as leverage to find out where the oil fields were. Do you think that this is going to work?
I hope not, but the fact that he's got someone scouring through these tapes, or it's like they just bring up something from the past I don't know.
I have no idea. Now they're gonna scour, like you said, through the tapes and see if they slipped up
That's
anywhere.
what I'm saying. It's leading up to something.
Which is smart. It's a smart idea, but who has time for all of that?
Apparently one of his minions.
Clearly one of his minions do. So I'm excited to see where that goes. And I'm excited to see Logan be a little bit more of a bad villain.
Yeah.
Because right now he's just kind of annoying.
He's like
you're just an annoying villain. Like, why are you here?
Okay, fine, go around.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're not going to do anything.
That's
you're not
why
shoot us,
I'm
so
like,
around.
what is going to happen this
Exactly.
season, these next 2 episodes, guys?
Yes, which brings us into, do you have any last thoughts on the episode?
No.
No? Let's get into our favorite segments, you guys. We are going to get into our favorite kill segment, which is pretty much our favorite kill, zombie kill, human kill, whichever kill that we have in the episode. So, Krista, who is yours?
Mine was Strand when he was tear gassed and barely could see and came out of the corridor and just took out the zombie that Alicia was like, I don't know if I can.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was just like, yes.
Was the walker in the end that Alicia kills, because now obviously
Symbolic.
this is a turning point to where she's not going to be annoying to me anymore.
Yes.
And she's not going to be useless and vulnerable all the time. She's actually going to start killing walkers again.
I did like that one too.
So I'm glad that we have to give credit where credit is due. Strand's kill in the beginning when he
with the head
ripped
that tore off.
and there was like blood everywhere.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That was gross,
That
but
was
I
really
loved
cool.
it.
I loved it too. Let's get into our next segment, our how not to survive a zombie apocalypse. If anybody has their favorite kill, shout out in the chat. Maybe we'll
Yes.
shout you out. We're going to move on to our next segment, our how not to survive a zombie apocalypse, which is pretty much a moment of the episode where we were a little annoyed or a little perplexed by the decision making.
I'd say, you know what? Don't steal a book. Don't steal a book in a zombie apocalypse. That will get you killed.
I'm going to probably have to give, Alicia as much crap about it as I can and say, in a zombie apocalypse, you're going to have to kill zombies if you want to survive.
Yes.
You can't rely on other people because at the end of the day, that's how you get killed.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Very fair.
Yeah. Any shout outs in the chat so
Yeah,
far?
it's Rob. Oh, we've got a new person. Rob K has been here all night, which is awesome.
Thanks, Rob K.
I think one of Al's tapes is labeled oil fields.
Oh.
For real? If that's the case, I missed that. Sitha is also in here. She thinks that Wes is going to become a central character, which I hope so as well. And then Beaverus has been in there talking too. You guys are great.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get into our news segment, news and gossip.
Yes.
We've got some interesting news and gossip.
I do have a
gonna
little
shoot it over
something
to-
for you guys.
To Krista, who's got some. It's pretty fascinating.
This is fun, not necessarily in the world of it's fandom though.
Yeah.
So this weekend in Louisville, Kentucky this past weekend. So this happened Saturday. It was the 15th annual Bardstone Road Zombie Walk. Yeah, sounds incredible.
We've got some images up, you guys.
So, yeah, there it is. So the event was hosted by the Devil's Attic and featured elaborate costumes, live entertainment, food vendors, and a market for Mischief Zombie Market. So all of that sounds wonderful. But, yeah, apparently thousands of zombies roamed the streets.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If I was in Louisville, Kentucky, I would have went to that.
It's been going on for 15 years, so next year, it's all for you.
Yeah.
Head on out, guys.
Let's go. I think that our entire panel should go. We
I
should
think
dress
we
up.
should.
And we should go.
We should report live from the zombie walk.
That would be really awesome, actually. I didn't even know that was going on for the last 15 years. So
Either
thank
did
you for
I.
that, Krista.
You're so welcome.
Let's get into predictions very quickly.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So I do have a pretty major prediction.
Okay, yes.
I think that there is going to be a love story between Alicia and Wes.
I think
Did
so
I steal
too.
your prediction?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
But only because I was kind of like, I like this.
I do like this,
Yes.
but I also remember from season 1, episode 1, Alicia's boyfriend was African American, so she
Was
clearly
he?
has a type. Yes. And I don't know, I got a vibe from them. I was like all about it.
Yes.
I
do
would
like it. I was
that.
getting vibes, and I was also like, I want him to stick around, so how can we do that?
Yeah.
And also, Alicia could use someone to stick around for a bit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Alicia needs a little good in her life.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is one of my
I like
predictions.
that. I also think that Logan is going to find the oil fields.
Yes.
And I think Morgan's going to have to be like, do we kill him or what do we do? Like, are we going to get violent or how is this going to end?
Yeah.
So it's going to be quite the standoff.
Let us know your predictions, you guys. Those are our
Yes.
2 major predictions. Hopefully we have a full panel next week. That way we get more predictions
Yes.
in. That is our coverage of Season 5, Episode 11. You're still here, Fear the Walking Dead. Krista, where can the fans find you?
Hey guys, you can find me all over social media at Krista Flengy.
And I am Timothy Michael. You can find me everywhere at I am Timothy Mike. You guys, we will be back here next week, same day, same time, hopefully with a full panel.
Yes.
But until then, we will see you guys later.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.